At number 5, we saw David Reinbacher go. And you know what? I have to say the Montreal Canadiens seem to be throwing up a lot of smoke around the draft. It seemed like they could be going between Reinbacher and Ryan Leonard. Ultimately, they go with the defenseman. I think they believe that Reinbacher is going to be a top pairing defenseman. And one thing I did want to pause on was there's something that can be pretty annoying covering prospects. And I am so glad that we have people that love prospects, that want to follow the work, that want to, read into what we do. Now, those of us that had David Reinbacher maybe lower in our rankings, and I was one of them. I had him in the top 10, but he was not one of my top tier guys. I thought the forwards were better, and I think that I still believe that I would have, if I were Montreal, I would have rather picked a forward. But there was a pretty significant amount of backlash to the point where the team actually kind of had to address it, where there were a lot of fans that were really angry about them not taking a different player over David Reinbacher. The thing is that David Reinbacher came into this draft as one of the guys that was viewed as a top defenseman in this draft class. He was a guy that was a top 4 player. He was a guy that we thought could really be, a significant piece for a team. So it's not a huge reach to go and get the top defenseman. We saw other defensemen go. One pick later, a defenseman went, Dmitry Simashev, in one of the most shocking moments of the draft when Arizona picked Simashev. But what I'd say about the Reinbacher thing, the backlash was ridiculous because there is so much we don't know about these players. Yes, there are players that I like better than others. There are probably players that fans preferred. Fans weren't happy about Shane Wright last year, not drafting Shane Wright and taking Uri Slafkovsky. The jury's going to be out on that one for a little bit longer, but Slafkovsky looked pretty darn good when he was healthy and when he was starting to kind of get his game going. Now that he's going to be healthy this year, we'll have a chance to reassess, and that's another thing where I didn't think Slafkovsky was the best pick available, but that's what Montreal chose. And so to see the backlash for a player that probably most of the fan base has not even seen more than highlights of, because let's face it, Reinbacher didn't play in a league that's as easily accessible as the CHL and other things like that. If you were watching him, you probably saw clips of video. I mean, that's pretty much how I had to watch him, although I did get to see him live at the World Junior Championship. But watching a broad amount of games and trying to generate a significant opinion, I thought it was just ridiculous that the kid faced any backlash whatsoever because he's just getting started. And he also signed his entry-level contract. He's more than likely going to go back to Switzerland next year. He's going to continue to develop there. And, he's going to get opportunities with Team Austria. He's going to play at high levels, and that is going to help his development going forward. But I just thought to be angry at the player and to direct some vitriol towards the player to the point where there was actually a fan that created a scrapbook of kind words for the kid because she felt so bad that there were so many fans jumping on him. I mean, that was just absolutely ridiculous. Reinbacher is going to be fine. Is he the pick that I would have made? No. Is he a fine pick? Is he a fair pick in that range? Absolutely. So a little soapbox for a minute. Everybody settle down.